right, we'll call to hello.
Nope. 11.
11. We'll call to order the Harbor Commission regular meeting, May 12th, 2021 at 6 p.m. Out for room A and B. Roll call, please.
Jacob Betts.
Here.
Andy Craig.
Here.
Max Weiss.
Here.
Ken Jones. Mike Beck.
Here.
There he is.
Yui.
Mike Babbitt.
All right, item 1, approval of the regular agenda.
Make a motion to approve the agenda.
A second.
Motion has been approved and seconded.
Nope.
Anyone opposed? The regular agenda is approved. Item number 2, approval of the minutes for March 10, 2021 and April 14, 2021.
Make a motion to approve minutes of March 10th, 2021 and April 14th, 2021. Regular meetings.
A second.
Motion has been approved and seconded. Anyone opposed? Minutes have been approved. Communications by visitors.
One at a time, please.
Hearing none. Item number 4, the Harbor Master's Report. Tony.
All right. Let's see. The vessel numbers are a little higher right now than 39, but not much. But they've been busy hauling boats and putting them back in. I know they did 3 of them today. I think they got 3 tomorrow. So pretty filled up. Let's see what else is just working on docks here and there. And put up some new signage around, let people know there's fees is included with tying up places and leaving your trailer in places. We now have the Bold Lady on hard in the shipyard. So another great vessel we own. Alpine Diesel completed installing the ladders, except for the very last one towards Shoreside's fueling station there. We've got to work on that fender first, but they got them all in. Nice stainless steel solid ladders installed. So let's see. We got all the water turned on, hand washing stations in, and then they finished installing the maglock system down the shipyard restrooms. We got to get different door handles so they actually work properly, but the system is in. And that's about it on the big stuff, if anyone's got any questions.
You don't have any room. How much
Yeah,
room
what's
do
the
you
plan for the Bold Lady?
Well, hopefully sell it, but who knows? Interested?
I might know somebody that I'm not.
Okay, let them know.
What your
How much room do you have left down there? The areas.
Oh, we got quite a few, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they're not in the maintenance areas, but yeah, we're going to have the city shop grade out where Jerry's building used to be, and then we'll start putting some over there too. So.
And are we still moving forward? I didn't see anything with Dutch DMI. Are they still? We haven't heard back.
No, I actually talked to Sam Greenwood today, and she asked the same question. I hadn't heard anything because it's up to planning and council now to at least get an idea and then come back to us. So.
But that'll be over in that area that's getting regraded.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
All right.
How'd the water turn on project go in the harbor?
Good, yeah. Not too many problems. We got one leak over in the loading dock by the Forest Service. We just ordered couplings to repair that, elbow couplings and straight couplings. So, yep.
Any questions? Any questions for the harbor master concerning the harbor master's report? Hearing none, on to new business. North Harbor Improvements Conceptual Drawing First Draft.
With the people in the room, they talk into their microphones. I can barely hear them.
Is yours on, Jake? Tap on yours.
He told me-
Can you hear me, Kenny?
Mine's on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whoever was just talking.
Try the- Hold on a sec, Kenny.
There it goes. Yeah.
Little confusion. The mics are all moved around, so trying to figure out where they're actually plugged into.
Oh, yeah. That looks like
Yeah, I can hear Tony really well.
Yeah.
Is this any better?
Yeah, way better. Thank you.
All right, we're moving on to the North Harbor Improvements Conceptual Drawing First Draft.
So I got a hold of P&D, Chip Courtright with P&D. He went through just, as like I said, this is his first draft. I had him, he had it, as you can see, the black line, he had it a lot further out. Had to move it back a little bit. And then once he did that and I guess, corrected what I asked him to, he's going to turn that to make it more look like parking lot area and everything. So we'll get it better, and then it'd be a better conceptual drawing when it's done to give you a better idea. And then he's working on rough order of magnitude for price for us on what it would cost to do something like that.
So the yellow line is the new black line? Is that what you're telling me?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Yeah, I think that's what we measured before, just when we went down there and figured in, you can still get the cars off the road further, plus you get another row of cars in there with a green space and a sidewalk.
And this is the cellular sheet pile,
Correct.
the way it's drawn, it looks like, yeah.
I think it looks great.
And what does that give us at the face, kind of roughly, of that yellow? Like at a zero tide, it's about zero. Do you have any idea? That I can see there's like,
You mean how much water would be at that yellow line? Right now, probably nothing.
Nothing.
zero tide would be nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, we'd be able to, I mean, theoretically, we would dredge that since we would sheet pile, and you could get some water there at least. I mean, you probably wouldn't want to go down 20 feet, but something that you could get over there, yeah.
Yeah, that Cordova outboard building there, that low water or minus tide, it's the outside piler are dry. So you can't, I remember you couldn't tie to it when it's tide.
Yeah. I think it's probably pretty close to zero right behind that, yeah.
So we could make at least a tidal face that could be worked there if we had
Yeah.
a way to get in there.
Well, if you did maybe, like we talked on some, is that possibly like in Whittier, where they pulled their docks right to that cellular sheet pile, you'd only have to dredge, say, 5-6 feet or something there, and then you could move all your docks in that extra, 40 feet of space that's in there,
Oh, yeah, that.
40, 60 feet left over, in which you gain
And you take those-
stalls.
you take them docks out then.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be nice to put your docks in along the face of it. And
Right.
your ramps coming down, along the face of it as well. Less room.
Forest Service dock and all them would be pushed in, or it is still there.
what's that? Well, we'd leave, you wouldn't move the loading dock in or anything.
So I was wondering, that'd be out in the middle of the harbor then. Everything else would move into there.
Yeah,
Those
yeah,
things.
the amount of money to move the loading dock would be astronomical of repiling and everything.
But you could have the ramp come down in a different spot in the
Oh, yeah.
system.
Yeah, you could have it towards the beginning of the approach or something.
Yeah, okay.
It would definitely will take a little bit of planning. A
We've got a little time before we have to replace that harbor, like 5 years.
couple years at least. I hope.
Takes 5 years just to get somebody to listen
Yeah,
to this.
but yeah, but it is something that we can.
But we could work on
Yeah,
that later, but
Right.
this portion would be a big step.
yeah. We don't need to get into nitty gritty on it. It's just, let's get a conceptual and start getting a little bit more planning and kind of figure out what it might cost us. So if we can get this side fixed, we might be ready for that side, maybe.
Any comments, Ken?
Nope, I think it looks good. It looks expensive, but that's what Helen wanted us to do. So there it is.
Excellent. All right, if there's no more discussion, we'll move on to old business. Requested measurements of the 3-stage dock and ramp provided on the last page of your package.
So as you can see, these drawings are to scale.
This is nice work.
So we brought it up before, but you guys wanted to get a little more in depth on that. And then also, I guess I didn't put it on the bottom of my report on. So you'd asked about also, since we're on spaces, if I can revert back to my report. I didn't put it on there, but Shell Beach, you asked how much room was.
Oh, yeah.
So I went over there and measured it. It's about 56 feet to the riprap to the first power big panel that's over there box. So along the road, there's about 56 feet of road before you get to the dock. You know what I'm saying?
I do know what you're saying. But this is the wharf. This is where it starts being wood. This distance. 56 feet. That's the city's.
And then goes to Ocean Beauty property. Yeah.
So we could access that beach.
Access it.
Well, I mean, 56 feet is
Yeah.
plenty wide enough for access.
Yeah.
And landing crafts, it's kind of
Is that,
depending on how they come out there, that it's a little bit of an angle. You have to have quite a bit to be able to work it.
Oh, yeah.
the
so-
big building of St. Elias is 56 between that and the roof?
Road, there's something like
yeah.
riprap, and then it goes like that.
So it's 25 feet from the 3-stage to the outward side of the dock.
Yep. That's what he has, Kenny.
What?
25 feet from the dock to the.
Good, Ken.
And then the 26.6 includes the dock. That's what it's on the cement there.
Yeah.
There would be
Really,
enough
25
room.
feet would be the same width as the ramp that's there.
Exactly.
I
A new ramp would be the same width as the ramp that's there, theoretically, if we use the whole space. Yeah.
fairly close.
Is there any ideas how we would support that dock if we were to move forward, or what the cost might be? I mean, I love the idea. We need another ramp. It's not ideal. There's, definitely some cons about the idea, but it seems like the most kind of logical place for one at this juncture anyway. But I also don't want to displace the float planes to use that, if we put a piling at the end of that dock, that could screw them up. So, I don't know.
Talk to Dave Irby about that.
If you were to put a second ramp beside it, you'd still have to have the dock in some place for each, for it to be secured. So you're going to have some kind of piling in there or something.
Nice as if the pilings went down through the center of the dock.
Right. But, and I mean, that's what I would think you'd want to do but yeah, then you're not going to be able to get the airplane in there, which, I mean, we have one.
Well, except for they're very tricky and they get in a lot of areas. I'm surprised they wouldn't be able to just come in and still use it,
Yeah, I mean,
Or off to the side a little bit. Oftentimes they like the gravel
They
better.
dock at boats with their antennas and everything all around, and they get in there.
It's surprising where they go, but
yeah, but I mean, you're going to have a couple pilings at least, because you got the two out there now that go across, so to handle the pressure. So Yeah, I don't,
But
yeah, so there's enough space to put something there.
Also, isn't there two rows
Well,
of,
I guess I would like to see us pursue, I mean, maybe delving into this idea a little further, maybe get some cost estimates on what it would cost to, what it would take to redo that dock and the piling, and throw in some cement there. You know, while we're doing it, I would like to see us pursue going down into the water column and a little bit further than the existing ramp, and, you know, maybe try to include extension of that other ramp too, so that at low water you can still launch a boat.
might have been a big drop off there. That might have been why they,
It's a pretty big drop off.
Yeah, I'm not
too
familiar
far
with
you
the topography or the geometry of that part of the harbor, but just
Yeah. go too shallow
yeah,
there,
I don't
you
know,
have trouble
for any boat to work. It's
walking at
time
3
to do
stages
it.
in a bigger boat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if that's why they originally did that. I don't know. I mean, just in case when a bigger boat was coming into the 3 stage, you wouldn't hit the ramp at all. I don't know.
Well, there's that one kind of buried piling
Right.
down there that I'm always worried about.
Wall,
Yeah.
Holes of dirt.
Yeah, there's a bulkhead there. Yeah.
That could be worked if they have to.
Yeah. It might be a lot of work to make it a full tidal access. I mean, you kind of need 3 foot
Yeah, it
to
might
launch a bow picker. It's not that bad. 3 feet. Yeah.
Yeah, and having another ramp where 2 guys could be launching or pulling at a time that'd make a huge difference. We might not even need the full tide access thing if we had 2 ramps working during the time of tide that you need it to be working, you know. I guess I would like to just keep that exact same talk, just trying to figure out, you know, I don't want to add that talk. That talk works great, but there's a way where we can cap on a piling somewhere, you know, redo one of the sections to have a center piling. I don't know what that would be involved, but, you know, put one right on the end and then, you know, take one section and put a hole in it. I don't know.
We can put one right off the end of the dock and have a hoop around it to hold it.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. Is that one at the end is pretty straightforward, but then if you need one in between,
Yeah, you're gonna have to have one in between just due to the stress of boats banging into it and everything. You can't cut a hole in those floats because they're all wood construction.
boats banging in. What?
Yeah, I know it
Who's
doesn't happen
driving
often,
these
but
things?
once in a while.
Ram-
Pretty narrow as it is too.
Yeah.
So we'd have to like get a section built that has a hole in it for a piling.
Well, I think kind of like Jake's saying is that dock is fairly narrow. So once you put a piling, you're gonna have a minimum of 2 foot hole. So now you gotta,
We have inches of.
Oh, could we do something at one of the joints where we just make like a
pup.
shorty? Yeah, pup. Exactly.
Make it wider where you can walk around the piling, because if you don't, you can only have inches on each side of that piling.
Well, I don't know about make it that much wider, but and it doesn't have to be a 2 foot piling, does it?
no, I'm just saying, I mean, but the hole and the
Yeah.
cutting the, I mean, you're gonna have a minimum of 12-inch hole and 3-4 inches on each side. I mean, somewhere around there. But
Yeah.
You could have
Without rubbing up against
28-inch clearance
yeah.
for a human on each side.
But that might be the easiest thing though, is just to take one of the joints and make a little
Get it out a little more.
piece that goes in there and
Yeah, I mean, it might not be ideal, but I think that makes the most sense. Try to maximize what we already have.
Especially like an opener night afternoon before the opener, like Wednesday afternoon, you get 20 boats trying to get in the water and in the high water, that one tide. I'm down there with Dean Kern all the time, and it's that house. People are everywhere. Basically, there's just not a room for everybody to turn around. They all fall in there, and then you can't launch because you got boats in the way. get
It's
too.
pretty quiet at 5 this morning.
Yeah, it was at low water.
5 this
too.
afternoon. No, it was good. There was still plenty of tide I got in, but
Oh.
the same tide in the afternoon was a zoo.
Yeah,
Mhm.
You know, people
I went-
stacked up like
well, I went in at 1 o'clock or about 12:30, and I was only boat there, but
pretty skinny, right?
the water, yeah, it wasn't bad. I had 2 of them ramps floating.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
They do, I mean, they do make a collapsible piling.
No.
Yes, they do. It goes underneath it.
Sounds like a maintenance nightmare.
That sounds
Yes, it does.
trouble.
But I've seen
Sounds
them. I
like
was like,
trouble.
maybe in freshwater, you don't have all the mussels and
Yeah,
everything else.
you
And,
a jam and a dog me in
Yeah.
there.
yeah. I hope someone hits it just enough and it gets all cockeyed and the dock's way up in the air.
You could offset
Yeah.
that piling onto one side of the,
Kind of like on
Yeah.
G-Flow where it's only on one side there's a hole. Yeah.
right?
That's
That
true.
would work.
Yeah.
You can go around it.
Yeah.
If you mock us up some designs down there real quick, we'll check it out next meeting.
Yeah, I like that idea. If you can do it, I don't know how them piling off the T-dock go, or I mean, their ramp there, if they're come off at an angle or if they're straight up and down, or I didn't look at that. So.
We got a guy coming to drive pile next couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm. We don't have permitting for it.
No.
You should always have a pile
So-
permit.
You're just
Oh, really?
Always, yeah.
You're
Like, who's talking?
Just replacing the piling into
We
there.
renew ours every year now.
Now you do, yeah. You learned.
But that's worth doing something with, I think.
Where are you going to put everything, though?
But what?
Well, I mean, you got to be able to have a road down there, some kind of path down there, and then you got to be
Yeah.
able to, where you're going to put gear. There's no place to store anything.
It's come and go. They have to move it from wherever they're storing it, and they have to load it on. But it's an option,
Oh.
especially for smaller landing crafts.
Oh, it's an option, but yeah, getting up and down there is pretty steep, so you'd have to figure out.
Have the big loader from the excavator from the city go over and
Kinda like-
make a little road.
Whether you can.
What's
swing
that, Ken?
I guess I kind of like the idea of putting in a dirt ramp between the 3-stage and that, and utilizing that existing dock, and if that way if a landing craft does need to come in and use it for 6 hours, they're not tearing up our cement, they're not blocking the boat from being able to use the other ramp, and if people can still use it, and there is no landing craft, it's right there in the harbor, it's protected, there's space above it, not a plethora of space, but you can kind of maybe get some signage made up where, if you're using the left-hand ramp, back in by, shipments, if you're using the right-hand ramp, use Baja Taco back in, I don't know, they make it work in Whittier where they have 2 ramps next to each other, and it's kind of a show, but
It's definitely a show.
most of us are better at back than most of the average Joe.
Got a guy sitting in the middle checking credit cards too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I mean, I understand what you're saying about a dirt ramp because I know the landing crafts would like it, but I think we'd have a lot of people stuck. Dirt ramp is kind of tough when you're getting something bigger than a skiff.
Don't even have them.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
You have them barges coming up against that ramp too. The ramp between the grids. We tore up just like the one in Northville.
Definitely wouldn't be a big landing craft ramp because it's only, well, it wouldn't even be able to be 25 because, I mean, all that dirt would slough over into underneath the other dock or so.
What if we just put another boat ramp next to the Ocean Beauty place?
That's what I think.
Yeah, a boat ramp there with 3 boat ramps. Yeah,
Here?
yeah.
Yeah. It's nice. That's a nice spot. And actually, I like it gravel because then it works good for the landing crafts. But you could make that up. There's enough room there. The thing is, there's no parking for trailers
Nope.
at all.
Good. Come and go.
So you got, somehow you have to have 2 people. Somebody, when you pull in, somebody has to have the trailer there.
Got to do a drop off and go.
You could pull into the new little fill area and then back down.
You park them in behind all the cars there in the other lot and lock them all in.
I mean, there's a little room there. It's not like it's super congested, but there isn't a staging lot. That's for sure.
You'd have the same problem with
Well, they're-
landing craft in there. You'd have to have a way to get, so they didn't have to run all the way down the other end of the town to offload what they're lifting off.
we do
You
the
don't have a
sheet
staging area to put anything. These guys are running equipment off. They don't want to have to run all the way to Ocean Dock and drop it off and then drive back, pick up another piece of equipment.
Oh,
If you have a barge come in, or a landing craft, I mean, with equipment on it or any kind of loading, you're gonna have to be able to unload it close.
yeah. But a lot of these small landing crafts could go in and unload into a pickup truck and leave, and that would be. I see them using the.
You don't mean.
They use the 3-stage dock thing, and they sit there and they back their truck up and they're going back and forth on it.
You mean things that, small, this same size or smaller than a native's one, land craft out.
Small, yeah, even smaller than that.
Yeah.
There's a
Oh, you
bunch
mean, all right, they're not really landing, well, they're landing crafts, but they're little. Yeah.
right, light duty.
Just to bring you up to speed there, Ken, we were talking about a ramp over there by Ocean Beauty in that little Shell Beach area. Copy that.
Okay,
Well,
I like the idea of having a ramp there, for boats. Good bottom on it so you don't sink. First thing you do is spin your tires once and you're there on the gravel. So.
I think getting the ramp done down here is probably a good idea. I don't like the idea of compounding a problem of congestion down there, but with no other options currently on the table that are feasible or affordable,
Yeah,
it's something that's going to help.
at least if the guys can get in the water and get out of the way.
I think this will help congestion because right now, it's not gonna add any more boats. It's gonna make the boats become faster. I mean, we still have the same number of people using the ramp. It's just, right now you'll have 4 or 5 packed up waiting for one guy, but if you, it'll just make it twice as fast. It might be a little bit of monkeying around with 2 guys trying to pack down at the same time, but I just, you're not gonna have to wait. I think it's gonna help with congestion, if anything.
Yeah, I think so too. But they get their boats in the water and they pull the trailers out of the way, so. You always seem to get one guy down there that doesn't have it together and he's mechanicking on his engine while there's a line of boats in it. So, they don't want to untie and go around the other side of the dock. So, but
yeah, they don't know if they're going to get it going. They want to stay on their trailer and they're plugging up the whole thing.
Well, Tony, do you think you want to track down some cost on this, or?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
ignoring this.
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong of asking, but where the money's going to come from, no idea.
Well, how about asking the Public Works to make an access road through there?
Well, they can't.
They can't
Well, we'll have to permit that.
permit the access road?
Yeah, because any access is going to be onto the beach where high tide is. We can't dump anything into the ocean without a permit.
Oh, it's just kind of like
Because there's no
smoothing out
room off.
what's there.
There's no, when it's road, it's 5 feet or 6 feet and it's down. I mean, it's not much, there's no side of that road there really. It's enough to park a truck and that's it.
They got away with it down at the North Phillips, or did you get permission for that?
Mhm.
When they opened that hole.
Yeah, so.
So we need a permit from who?
DEC, I mean, you'd have to do environmental everything.
Yeah, if you're putting anything in the
They
water.
make it. It
probably-
doesn't have to go into the water. They just have to clean up
probably
some of
plenty-
those rocks enough so somebody can drive through there. No one would even
Yeah, because I mean, it drops off just, so you'd have to,
push a little bit.
There'd probably be plenty of opposition from people in town too.
Putting a dump-
Want to
dump all your
dirty up
snow
the
down there
prettiest
and doing
beach
all
we
the
got.
gravel.
There you go. Make it a snow dump for a few years and it'd take care of
Refill it.
itself.
I can tell you that when they got rid of that piece of property besides the Shell Beach, that was the thing, was that the city wanted to keep Shell Beach. The community did.
Yeah, they wanted for picnic campgrounds. Picnic ground, not a campground.
Yeah,
Picnic ground.
something. They did not want that piece sold. They sold the upper part, and
Nothing like the smell of a
Well,
meal
they figured
plant
out
when you're
the
picnicking.
park there was gonna turn white in about 20 minutes. The first time a ball picker come around that corner and all them birds went in the air.
What was that, Ken?
Oh, I do know some people take their kids down there for picnics and stuff. I remember going down there when I was a kid too. So I do remember that. You're right. It was a community priority to keep that.
Mhm.
It's not overly utilized. I know a few years ago they put a picnic table down there. And I don't know. There's a lack of waterfront access in the community, and it's not the ideal setting for a beach right next to a processor and everything else. But it is, it does get utilized somewhat. I think there could be some uproar if we tore it out.
yeah. So, but yeah, anything we do with
I
the
don't even think it's in the harbor control. You'd have to go through P&T and council and all the other stuff, and it's just been complicated.
we consider it the Port of Cordova. It's within the tidelands of ATS 220, but still, yeah. I mean, anything we do, if we put anything in the water or pull anything out of the water, it becomes. I mean, it's just like we do in our harbor. I mean, even though we may just pull one piling and put the same one back in, it's permitting. And
Oh yeah, I want to put those pilings in over at the main landing craft dock so they lean against that instead of replace those broken pilings out there.
Oh, the one against the rock wall?
Yeah, so those guys can lean against the piling instead of the riprap. But Tony doesn't. He's heard this before.
They were there before and they got broke off.
They did. I see the stubs down
no,
there.
and when we get the money to do this harbor, and we're going to have a big pile driver here, we'll drive a pile over there.
Okay,
Yep,
good,
probably more than one.
good.
If one just magically appeared there,
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Seen Greg LaForte back off there and have a problem and back right into it.
Yeah.
Got the shaft on his unit, so it was interesting.
well, I think we're all in agreement that Tony should track down some costs for the new boat ramp over here. And yep, you agree there, Ken? Tony should track down some cost on that new boat ramp in the harbor.
I already wrote it down, right there.
Ken said yes.
That way we have an idea what we're looking at.
Ken says he's all for it. Okay.
Probably costs more for the studies done on it and the permits than it will to build a dock.
I think the north ramp, when they redid that, put the dock in and the pilings, it was a little over $300,000. They did that because they were finishing up that dock when I got here into this job.
Does that include the permitting?
Yeah, as far as I know.
What did they do?
They replaced some of the bunks. They put those, was it 3 pilings and the dock in at the north ramp.
They pulled them all out and put new ones in. And
Yep. I remember. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
And that Harris?
I don't know who did the pilings. The pilings were in, the dock went in when I took the job. But yeah.
And that has those little, they capture the pilings.
Right.
Like a little
Yeah.
appendage off the dock, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or anything else for old business? All right, moving on to miscellaneous business. Tony needs to track down costs for the boat ramp in the harbor.
anything
Miscellaneous
on
business.
grants or anybody mentioned anything?
Still working on them, on the grants. We haven't heard anything on the state grant, what's going on with that. There's no funding as of right now. It's still going to go through the House and Senate, I guess, and so we don't know what's going on with that.
Oh, it's past the operating budget, but that'll be in the other budget.
I think it's going to be in part of that I can't remember exactly where it is, but it's not going to be separated as the state matching grant for harbors. It's going to come out of, I think, the operating budget of something, but so So I don't know, as of right now, there's no moving until they pass the actual budget, I guess. So the other grants, we're still working on them, moving forward with them. So they added a couple things. It's going to cost a little more money to do grant work, but yeah. Like environmental justice is a section now, which I don't know what that is, but.
Any chance on getting that some of that COVID $1 billion that's floating around out there?
Not.
Well,
I mean, there's nothing that's earmarked for, you know, there's always that hope that the state's going to get enough.
That $1 billion deal they had coming, they found out that it popped something to do with the population or something. They're only going to get half this year and half next year. So the House just pushed it out of the budget. They didn't put it in there at all. Until they know what they're getting. Something to do with census and and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they figured they're going to leave it alone. Senate, they figured the Senate's going to deal with it because by then they should know. But just watching C-SPAN or whatever that is, Alaska Span or whatever. I get bored sometime and turn it on.
All right, audience participation. Hearing none.
Hold on,
Commission.
see if there's anyone on the phone.
Is there anyone on the line who would like to participate from the audience?
Normally people don't call in, so. Okay.
Roger, hearing none. Commission comments, future agenda items, Max.
Okay, I like the idea of the ramp, that regular boat ramp kind of set up there. Get a handle ball pickers. I don't know how, you'd have to get an engineer or somebody to figure out how far it can go. I like the idea of going in deep, lower tides too, but feasibility of that, we find out, but I like that. As far as the ramp over by the other place, I figure out how to do that cheaply. I don't see any reason why you couldn't do it, but I'm sure you're gonna have people screaming because they'll lose a park. That's what it was designated for.
I don't think it'll get used that much, but
That's what it's designated for, though.
okay.
So, I mean, I remember years ago they tried it, and then something that's just going to make a park out of it. Everybody's laughing because it would be more of a dodging signals than anything else. So, and the only other thing is the grants. Just wait and see what happens, I guess. The North Harbor, I like the looks of that. I'd like to see it when they get it real planned out, where you can see exactly what's going on. That's mine.
All right. Ken, any comments?
Nope. Thanks for coming out tonight. Yeah, I want to pursue that ramp. I think it's a good idea. Thanks.
All right. Andy?
Echo what Max said, and I'm for the landing craft park. I think it's a great place for a landing craft park.
Oh, you have more gravel, beat up all the water, drive right down to it.
So, yeah, that's my comment.
I just see a problem with people really scream with it if you try to do something in a park.
Yeah, I like all the ideas here presented here tonight. I think it's a good idea. I think getting the ramp down the harbor is a great idea. And then the Northfield plan here, I think, is what's going to allow us to best utilize this space. And no matter what we want to do in the future, it'll open up opportunities for us. So with that, Tony, any closing comments?
Just on future meetings for the summer. Doesn't look like June's is on June 9th. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. But as we get into, everyone gets fishing, you guys will have to let me know if you really want to have a meeting or if you're going to be able to make meetings so we're not making plans for no reason or canceling at the last second. So, yeah, July is on the 14th. So, but yeah, just let me know if before we get going, you guys get fishing hard or whatever you're doing.
If it's anything like last year, I could probably make every meeting.
Right, yeah, I mean,
You could have
I'm
extra.
hoping not. I'm hoping you guys are actually fishing, but yeah, so. Yeah. All right, and then future agenda items, if you want to just email me. Not a whole page, Ken. Couple things, we'll get them on there. And, okay,
All right, we need one
All
more
right, I'll
motion.
email you a whole page.
I know. Oh, and I'm happy to be back from Hawaii.
Had enough soaking it up. Huh?
Yeah.
You get any bites on that replacement guy or anything?
Nothing.
Eric
I guess
isn't.
I do have one idea for a future agenda item.
Okay,
Email it.
It's just an update on the three-stage dock repairs and cranes.
okay, well, we're still pursuing that one. Sam, while I was gone, Sam actually talked to the people that are doing that money, so, yeah, I think next council meeting or two, they're gonna have the resolution on there for that, to move forward.
Cool. Right on. Yeah, keep it on the radar anyway.
Yep, I'll let you know if there's any change on it.
Make a
Motion to adjourn? Sorry.
I second the motion.
All right, motion has been made and seconded.
Around to see if anybody had something to say.
Anyone object? All right, this meeting is adjourned.